right? And he was quite disappointed. You know what he did? He gained 14 pounds, as far as I remember. He became bigger, yet softer, of course. I mean, you cannot put in 14 solid rack muscle, even at the professional level. I hope Cedric is listening now. Cedric McMillan, for that matter. So yeah, Nasser happened. He transformed himself. He became the very bully, the biggest guy on stage, around 283, 285. Only the other guy who was heavy was the much taller, actually, Canadian guy, namely Jurassic Paul Dillette, right? But of course, he was not placing better than Nasser. Nasser was pushing Dorian, right? Arguably, was stolen in this Miss Olympia 1997, the last of Dorian. Dorian came really crippled, a lot of injuries, and he has some Dorianism, if you guys know what I'm talking about. Definitely deformed, far from his best shape of even 96. He was good. 96, if you remove the biceps, of course, he was very good at 96. I think 96 was his optimal condition, although he said it's 93. Nonetheless, you can see that if you follow Dorian, I guarantee you his biceps was getting shorter year by year. Look at this, the intact bicep. This is the right one. Guarantee you, since I followed this guy since his beginning, it became shorter. I do believe it generally it has to do not with aging or things like that, but also probably efficient stretching. May rest in peace, Nasser Al Somebody, but I do believe that he used some oil. Well, he definitely used some oil later, especially in 2001 and things like that. But here, since I also followed his biceps, there is a tremendous change between 96 and 97. So this might be some SEOs there. Nonetheless, they all used some things, so I think he deserved to win in 97. Look at the difference. This was him when he was younger, of course, probably 94. The guy here is Thierry Pastel from French, a very steady guy, deemed to have one of the best midsections ever. Right, and then we already forget about Dorian era, and we stumble on the Ronnie Coleman era. Better to know I bypassed a lot of years. We forgot about what happened, the drama in 98, 99, where Flex was whining. We even forgot about 2000. We're already in 2001. I think it's more eventful, right? I think the guy here should have won already, right? Don't get it twisted. I mean, the previous years, I think that Ronnie deserved to win 98, 99, and 2000. Here, though, he messed up. There was this blonde guy coming from nowhere, from Las Vegas, for that matter, Jay Cutler, and I think he pushed Ronnie enough to win, and is still one of those controversial Mr. Olympias. Kevin Ronnie was approaching his retirement back then, and his wheels were starting to not be loyal. But precisely, I mean, the blonde guy should have won, actually, in 2001. That I guarantee you. Proceed, shall we? Well, the next year, actually, 2002, I think he made another mistake for whatever reason. I think that Ronnie was competing a lot. In 2001, he was very good at the Yarn Classic, very good, which he won, of course. But then 2 shows in a row, he missed actually the point in 2001. He tried to correct 2002. He overdo it. Look at the face of Ronnie Coleman. Look at the bones. He had that face. And another blonde guy came from actually Germany, and well, he beat him in a secondary show after this because it was a big controversy. They gave him number 5, where he was literally winning the Mr. Olympia. Everybody knows that by now. It was politics 101, right? For the record, look at the difference between 2002 and 2003. He was almost dead here, and then a year later he changed a lot of things, namely his entourage, thus the consumption of some things and the health stuff, and he became better. And a year later he did not commit that same mistake. He brought up one of the crazy, I mean, he reached his final form, so to speak, in Dragon Ball Z turn. He was unbeatable. Even the return of Jay Cutler was not enough to push him, so he deserved the rest of the Mr. Olympias. And then, well, let's bypass some things. Let's bypass 2006, right, and go directly to another controversial 2007, and we have Jay Cutler, the reigning Mr. Olympia, and we have Vince, actually, Victor Martinez, sorry about that, the Dominican, and this is yet another controversial Mr. Olympia. A lot of people have Martinez winning versus rather not in shape Jay Cutler. But then again, this was, you know, those kind of close things that you cannot call, but it is still deemed to be controversial until today. But fast forward, and we will not talk about 2008, where of course Dexter the Blade won, because this guy messed up. He came in with a freaking wrinkles on his lower back. He was fat, watery. He messed up. So the door was open to Dexter, and he won, right? But 2009, the stump pose happened. The stump pose happened. He brought those crazy separations in the quads. I mean, literally insulting. And he went through everybody. He killed everybody on that stage. It was not even funny. You name it. I mean, that was everybody there, I think. Even Phil Heath was there. Kai Green, of course, they were young, but he stumbled upon everybody. And he basically established his dominance, reclaiming his title. Look at this. He was just proper. Right? So a lot of people ask me, who's my favorite Mr. Olympia? Without getting into that, because I favor a lot of them in different aspects, like, you know, the charisma for me, you know, is of course Arnold, and you have Dorian. But when it comes to the completeness of the body, I think it's definitely Jay Cutler. Why? I mean, because he has everything checked. Legs checked. Midsection, he has definitely one of the craziest 8-packs for that matter. The arms are good. The back, it was deemed to be the top 5 best in the world, although not that detailed, but it is still there, very thick. The calves are there, the arms, the shoulders, traps. What's lacking? The chest. Nothing is lacking. What if you think? The other guys, they have always something lacking, right? I mean, the midsection of Ronnie, his calves, the biceps of Dorian, his chest is not the thickest, and so on and so forth, right? So let's proceed. Shall we? Of course, we talked about this mishap in 2008 when this guy passed through. And look, we already in pretty much the 2010 eras, in a sense, right? And this gentleman right here, he won his first Mr. Olympia back then, 2011. He was in very, very good shape. And then I started to not like his shape, and he noticed that, because I had some scrimmage with him on social media, namely this medium right here. YouTube, when I invented, without, again, I mean, I'm just doing social media, I don't decide to invent words, but the first bubble gut related to bodybuilding, it was my videos, because in theory, or not in theory, but in reality, in your language, in English, bubble gut is when somebody has some gases in his stomach, I think, right? So it's stomach gas, but me, I just called it the bubble gut because of a song, and now it became a term in bodybuilding slang, in a sense, just like, you know, anabolic chicken, in a sense. Anyway, he had a bubble gut starting to develop. Not here precisely, but the 1 year after. Nonetheless, he upped the level of 3Dness to another department, and he's rolling since then, actually, since since the beginning with Hanny Rambod, with like the magician in this field, and he never messes up, right? And his back again is establishing a very dominance, progressing year by year. This were basically 2011 and 12, I think, and it's old already by today's standards. I don't see what I call the Central Valley here. It's not that basically precise, and the thickness here wasn't as big as here, and he continued to progress. Back then he was about 230s, low 230s. Right now he's in 250s, so 20 pounds of muscle have been added pretty much everywhere. I mean, distributed throughout this body. 2012, no, 13, sorry, 13, 12, no, 12, sorry, yeah. This is the Shiru Classic. Shiru Classic, I think it's in India. That was another controversy. Even me, quite frankly, I had Kai Green ahead. I had Kai Green ahead. I don't think it was the best shape of Phil back then, but there was a lot of controversies. I mean, the famous Mr. Olympia of that year was controversial, but we'll talk about that in a few. So that's it. Both of them were getting somehow they were getting better. They were getting that muscle maturity going on. It was just proper. Yeah, so it was 2012. I was right. And yeah, I had actually Kai Green a little bit ahead. I think that Phil Heath was a little bit smoother. It shows in his face. A little bit watery. The legs were not as loyal as his foe of old, Mr. Kai Daly Green. Right? And then we arrived in the same year, 2012, Mr. Olympia. Now, Kai Green played differently that time around. I mean, he came in smaller, more mainstream, trying to use another recipe. And a lot of people, until today, they say he should have won. Was it close? Damn right, it was very, very close. But the champion, you need to knock him, to beat him. And that he didn't do. And we have to all agree that basically his traps are not visible by 90 standards for that matter, and certainly not next to Mr. Olympia. Now, for what he has done back then, he came in bigger and he was still conditioned. Kai Green came in very conditioned, and the upper body was definitely lagging a lot. So until today, I do not think he has beaten Phil Heath in 2012. Phil Heath, he was close though, but Phil Heath has beaten him. A lot of people were speculating. It was like a rumor. It's like an urban legend. A lot of people say, hey, he was just 1 point behind. In reality, no, he was not 1 point. He was a lot behind. I mean, the forearms are not as developed. I spoke about the traps, and from the front, well, the chest was not as loyal. Fast forward, actually, Bubblegum Bonanza happened, right? So I decided, and it became kind of my catchphrase in a sense, but did it happen? And I did protest about it. The year that I started to talk about was about 2013 a lot, because Arnold was not saluting it in his Arnold Classic, and he spoke about it. Because I published a video, thanks to one of you guys, he sent it to me, and I published it like freaking 20 seconds later. It was on YouTube, and it went viral, right? It went viral, and it ticked Arnold in the wrong way, and he spoke about it. What the hell are you doing? What the hell are you doing? And then it became kind of scandalous, right? Phil Heath let it go when they have that little skirmish actually on stage. They were not concentrated. Two. Of course, Boo Bunder, where he doesn't concentrate, definitely not loyal. Dennis Wolf, well, you know, when they turn, they let it go as well. It roams. And then, fast forward actually to this year already. What? This year? Yes, it was this year, precise 2016, meaning last year, Mr. Olympia. Why am I showing you this picture though? Because I received a call from this gentleman right here, Kevin Lavroni, gave me a call and he told me, bro, how are you? I salute your work on YouTube, this and that. I said, bro, it's my honor, you know, talking to the legend himself. I was a fan of you when I was a kid, you know. So you're my idol and this and that. And we spoke about a lot of things. And he told me, bro, that is something I want to ask you about in sense. And I want you to keep it secretive. I'm coming back. I was like, what? I was sitting right there on that coach right there to my right now, and I was, okay. I told me, what do you think? Is it feasible? I said, bro, what you aiming for? And back then he was like aiming really, his aim was to go to the top and to box with freaking Phil Heath. Told me, what's my best version? So I told him this is 95, by the way. I told him 95 is your best version. It's my favorite version. Now he became bigger later when he shaved his head. You know, 2000, 2001, and so on and so forth, and even 98 when he went to the British Grand Prix. But for me, I remember my sweet spot of view is 95, even better than 96 when he won the Arnold Classic. Even by the account of Dorian back then, he said, bro, in 95 Kevin brought a frightening back, right? So this is the Slim Shim that I liked him the most, and told me, bro, send me those pictures. So I sent him the pictures, and yeah, that was the plan. So while of course the rest is history. Well, since we're here, let's talk about the guys in the background. We got Mike Francois. This guy is Ian Harrison, of course. Chris, the real deal, Cormier. And Sean Ray, this guy has always forget his name. Damn it! I mean, he's competing right now in his classic physique. Sorry, bro, I forgot his name. It's not Desmond, but it sounds like Desmond. I always forgot his name. Anyway, yeah, I'm sorry. He has one of the craziest biceps, and him too. Actually, he was saying for the longest time that he was natural. But then again, of course, Kevin placed second here actually, and Dorian was Dorian-esque, right? Hard to beat. Fast forward, well, not fast forward. We're still in 2016 when Kevin was coming back. Big Ramy came in medium in a sense. I called him medium Ramy. He did not salute me. He did not salute me so much, if you guys know. Yeah, I didn't like it. At me, I didn't like it. I had to be honest. What the hell did he do? Plus, why did he try to flex the abs in the front double biceps? Some people can do it. The late guy who was also an Arab like him, Momo Ben Aziza, or the other Egyptian guy who also passed away, Nasser or somebody, was doing the front double biceps while flexing the abs, and it suited him well. It flows well. Big Ramy, no, you have a small waist. I mean, just suck it in. Not a vacuum, but just suck it in. It looks good. This made him look awkward, and he missed actually his prejudging. Not saluted, right? That's why he lost a lot of points, and he placed fourth, and he also lost a lot of money, right? That's on the side. Kevin came back, and unfortunately, he was not as close to his shape of 95, right? That happened. It's kind of funny that some people were predicting him to be #1, some fitness outlets, and even after they saw him removing his t-shirt next to Cedric McMillan, I mean, he did that before the prejudging, and we saw his back, and it was clear before seeing the legs. Forget about the legs, because some people, bro, can say we did not see the legs. That's why we're saying he was #1, bro. But you saw him removing his t-shirt next to Cedric McMillan, and then you see some people. Yes, I do think it will be #1. That was a little bit pushed in a sense, overstretched. Nonetheless, we do salute him. You know why? Because he brought the passion for that Mr. Olympia. I tell you what, I mean, it was revived because of him, right? So we've seen some Snapchat pictures and this and that, and it created some passion, that's for sure. So this was the end of it. This guy brought the 4K actually. 4K kind of just bubbles everywhere. It looks like freaking Frieza. Just roundness everywhere, and even a very gifted Dexter was not able to push him. Although I think that Dexter should have placed #2 rather than #3, right? So #2 was given to Sean Roden, and he was mad about it actually. Sean Roden was mad last year. He was like, bro, I should have won, according to him, by his reckoning. But I do understand at that level, you know, it's grueling. It's a grueling training and preparation. So yeah, you need to believe in yourself, don't you? So that was it, pretty much. Did I forget some people? Do you think I forgot some people? Nah, I didn't forget. Wait, we're coming there. Now, of course, we cannot dismiss the advent or the debut, the very birth of the classic physique in 2016, actually, Mr. Olympia. Right, won by Hester, 47-year-old. We got my very good friend Arash, who placed very close second, and a controversial Sadiq, who, by the way, blocked me on social media. Guess why? I don't know, man. But anyway, yeah, by the way, he's very known on social media, and he was doing some classic physique. I think he was very good in classic physique. But that's it. So this is kind of a fresh breath of air. I did salute it. A lot of people would say, bro, you love it because probably they created because of you, because of myself. And quite frankly, I don't take direct credit because I'm not in contact with IFBB. I have no clue if they listen to my videos. Probably they do, or what, I don't know. But I just made a video and I said, okay, create something reminiscent of the old days. It will be very popular with the teens. The guys who buy your powders, who buy your business, are teenagers who aspire to look more aesthetic in a sense. They the bulk of them do not want to look like freaking Marcus Rule. Those are the big orexia guy. But the majority looks to be aesthetic. That's why they were cheering for Ziz and the other stars, right? And I said that on actually September 4th, 2015, and 4 days later, 2008, the boss of IFBB came in and said, well, let's create a category called Classic Physique. So make your mind. I don't take credit for it, but I'm happy for the creation of this division. I'm so passionate about it, and the talent is so deep. It is so deep. Be my guest. My fellow Canadian who just won, he's gonna do the Mr. Olympia. He won last weekend. Bumstead, he will be Mr. Olympia, and it's not the very end of him. I mean, he's progressing week by week. This kid, for Lord's sakes, like 22, dearie me. But tell me, did we forget something? Did we forget anything, right? Well, we did, on purpose. I did, actually. I did not speak about this gentleman, although I spoke about the late 80s and the early 90s. Well, this guy started competing, actually, in the early 80s, for that matter. So the French guy, I think he's originally from Morocco, though. Morocco, Algeria, or Tunisia, because his name is Sephardim. Sephardim are Northern Africa Jewish people, right? Benfato. Benfato is kind of an Arabic name, but you know, Jewish people from North Africa have some Arabic last names. Francis Benfato is a Frenchman, right? Papa. A lot of you ask me on my social media, and I always say it time and again, what is my favorite bodybuilder of all time? It is Francis. Francis Benfato. Just, if I had a choice to look like somebody, it's gonna be just Francis. Not busy, not overdone, just the proper mass development. He was doing some crazy, actually karate, if I'm not mistaken, so very, very flexible. Remember what I told you about the flexibility of the bicep? Francis does it diligently until like lately when he competed, like nearly a few years ago in Australia. You can see him stretching his biceps in a very intricate way. And quite frankly, I think it has to do. I mean, his development, his massive arms have to do also with that. Do not dismiss flexibility, stretching. The guy that, like Dexter, does it as importantly as lifting. It goes to show, right? Crucifix pose, there, you know, with small waist. Wow, it's just proper, just amazing actually. When he came to America after he won, you know, because Joe Weider was signing these guys. If you're good, he will sign you. When he brings you to America, why? To promote you and to work with you and to make money with you, to have pictures with you, seminars and so on and so forth. So this guy come to California, I think, and has been given $5,000 a month to live. Now back then, of course, it was some money, right? Early 90s. And he didn't adapt to the American way. French people, actually, from France, they're very different from the USA. So it's, for them, it's like Mars. So he didn't like it. That's why he came back, and then he had an injury actually in his chest. And then he retired from the scene. He came back later when he was old, but he gave him 5,000, bro. Tell him, bro, you are next Mr. Olympia. As a matter of fact, he removed the medal from Lee Haney and he gave it to Francis Benfato. Right? He was just proper, this guy. So this guy is definitely my favorite bodybuilder of all time. And I'm quite passionate now because he just joined Instagram. So hopefully I'm going to make a video with him, and interview with him in both languages, in French and also in English. That's it, guys. Thank you for watching this long video. And well, if you ask me when am I making long video again, it's just by passion. My passion was rekindled lately for several reasons. Sergio Oliva, some guys who are bringing the aesthetics, and I do salute that. And if it happens to me, I will not come back to make synthol videos. I mean, it just flows. It's like poetry. I'm not preparing this video. I'm not reading this. I just let my mouth and my lips do their thing, and it just flows out of passion. In life, it's all about passion. If you work and you do something you love, you will not hate it. It will be just business as usual. Proper positivity, and hopefully it will never get crushed again by bubble guts and by some politics and by some drama. Be saluted. Don't forget to like the video, and it was an absolutely 44 minutes long video. Bro, not saluted.